Yo, 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 people. Welcome back to another stream. Welcome back to another post-match reaction stream. It's the first post-match reaction outside of the Jose regime as well. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the best performance overall, but listen, 3 points is 3 points, and I'm back with my faithful co-host Jordan. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I know you're buzzing. Jose's gone. Been crying out for that for a while. Yeah, good day. Like you say, it was nice to see. Second half, at least, last 30 minutes, bit of freedom to the side. So I'm good. It's a good day.
Yeah, it is a very good day, man. Like Sonny, 20 goals for the season now in all competitions. Gareth Bale, 6 Premier League goals. But it wasn't all like happy days for us today, was it? Because I'm not gonna lie, like I saw the lineup. I think outside of Eric Dyer starting, I didn't really have an issue with the lineup. Maybe I would have dropped the Celso because I don't think he's played anywhere near good enough to justify starting. But I could say the same for Ndombele recently, bar the Newcastle game. I could say the same for Højbjerg recently. I could say the same for Reguilon recently. I could say the same for quite a few players, isn't it? But it was a good it was like a early opportunity to see what this team can do without the influence of Jose Mourinho. So, like, what was your view on the lineup? And one second, I'm just going to turn the TV down, but you keep talking.
Yeah. Lineup was pretty much what you said. I think with Kane out, it's the strongest on paper, I guess, that we could have gone for. I understood why Eric Dyer was in there. I mean, we'd all say Rodon should probably be in there, but if you're going to go for one of the more experienced centre halves, I think you're picking Dyer over Sanchez, especially with the front three or front two that Southampton started with. Danny Ings isn't sort of blessed with pace. I think if you were going to go for Dyer or Sanchez, then I understood it. Yeah, I like the fact that he threw Bale in. I wasn't sure about Lucas down the middle. I'm still not sure about Lucas down the middle.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. I know he's played well, but I will never be a fan of it.
No, it didn't work on this occasion. I think previously when it's like in that 10 position and there's actually a focal point in front of him, it's more effective. But when he's actually the main focal point in the centre of the pitch, there's little to no impact from him. So, but lineup wise, like I said, exactly the same as you, mate. Question marks. There's always going to be a question mark about one of our centre halves. That's the thing. We haven't got two strong enough centre halves for me where you can go, I'm buzzing about the two centre back options. So I understood why Dara's in there, but I think it was a decent shout from Mason to be honest.
Yeah. You know, as I said, the lineup was bar Dyer, maybe Lo Celso. I couldn't really complain. Like Lucas Moura, can't really begrudge him starting, especially when there's no Harry Kane as well. I think Moura, Son, and Bale were the best possible attackers that needed to start that game.
Yeah.
Just going through some comments. Big up, shout out Sustainable Shooter. Big up Tobs, good win. Although right at the end when Bergen fucked up that final pass, I thought
don't even talk to me about that.
I don't even remember seeing that, but
you don't see it. Oh
no, because I was on the phone. I was trying to set up the stream. Newman says Mason still needs to go at the end of the season. No Ole situation. It's an interim thing, man. I don't think anybody is expecting Mason, or even I don't think many people want Mason here next season. Like, I think he's a cool guy, but no way on earth would I want him as the permanent manager. No way. Peter says, get in, boys. Shano Jan says, Tobes, thoughts on protest at Spurs. You know what? Let me actually ask you this before I give my opinion. What did you think of the protest, man?
Look, you know my thoughts from when I first spoke to you on a previous podcast with Enoch. Yeah. Not a fan, for those that don't know. Pretty strong opinions on them. I know people like what they've done off the pitch, I guess. It's never really interested me. So I don't disagree with it, mate. To be honest with you, if that's generally what people believe and that what people want the board or the owners out, we've seen what the power of the fans to an aspect can do over the last 3 days. So as long as they're, peaceful, respectable, non-violent, then I've got no issues with it. I think, if you want your voice heard, sometimes you've got to do these things. But I don't know what I haven't spoken to you about it. What's your opinion on it, Tobs?
Yeah, listen, I got no objections to people protesting, man. If you believe that Enoch aren't taking us forward as a club, exercise your right to protest. That's fine. For me, I explained it on Twitter today, and a lot of people will say it's naive, etc. You'll probably say it's naive too, but I'm giving Enoch and Daniel Levy one more summer. Like, I'm not Levy in or out, so I totally understand why people are writing, and especially with the Super League stuff as well. Yeah. I totally understand it, but like weirdly, and you may not agree with it, but weirdly, I do think that these dumb decisions that Daniel Levy makes, he makes it thinking he's making the right decision for the club. It's weird.
But what's the club, Tob? That's the thing that gets me. And I'm not overly disagreeing with you, because I agree with you. I think Daniel Levy is doing what he thinks is right for the club, but what's his perspective of the club? His perspective of the club isn't the team for me, or it's not the priority. That's my thought on it. Your perspective of the club is it as a whole? Do you know what I mean? First and foremost, it's, can the squad compete? Second is, you need the right facilities to be able to compete on the top level, and the right sort of global reach and commerciality that comes with it. That all has to be part of it. But it's flipped on its head for me, where that comes first, and then that's a secondary thought.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem with Levy in the years, letting our squad get to the state it's at now, making dumb footballing decisions like hiring Jose Mourinho in the first place and then sacking him off, and then not really fully backing him in certain parts of the squad, not backing Pochettino when he asked for the backing, not backing Harry Redknapp when he asked for the backing, and then signing the club up to a Super League where even though you're doing it so the club don't miss out financially, you're jeopardizing the whole concept of football just so the club can make a few extra quid. So he makes dumb decisions, and I think for me he's at a crossroads this summer. Like, I was Daniel Levy out when he sacked Poch, but like I don't know why I sort of like took myself out of it, thinking, yeah, you know what, you've done X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah. But like, this summer is the crossroads for me. Like, I think he's at a crossroads now. If he gets this managerial appointment wrong, if I don't see the right footballing personnel in on and off the field, and if I don't see him let people who are more informed to make footballing decisions make those footballing decisions, then I'm out.
But what is that? And I'm not disagreeing with you in terms of what's needed and what the right summer is, I guess. But like, what is enough then? So if he's got one more summer from your perspective, like we've spoken before, Tobs, about like some of the deadwood that needs to go. Realistically, that's not even possible in one summer. Do you know what I mean? And then to ultimately bring in the right.
I think it is. Yeah, man. I think it is. I think a lot of people are letting some of these get off scot-free with doing their job. This is their job. Like, I'm not saying like player attrition is not easy in general, but this is their job, bro. Like, this is their job to manage player retention with regards to our ability to recruit the best players that will genuinely improve our team, and start like moving off the players that don't really improve our team. Like, this is their job. This is what they're paid to do. So for me, it's high time that they start doing their job well, or doing their job to a well enough standard that benefits the club, because it's not benefited us the last 2 years. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, 100%. I just don't like, for me, where you say he gets one more summer, it's almost like I'd understand if there were occasions where you can see what they're trying to do, or I just don't see where the credit comes from, or where that's built up in the bank where you go, all right, yeah, one more shot. Do you know what I mean? I don't see where.
I get why you say that. But I just look at it as, look at where we were when Levy was there, and look at where we are now. Like, I guess people will say, oh yeah, no, Poch played a significant part in that. Of course he did, etc., etc. But it's under his tenure, we've gone from X to Y. Like, it's been an upward trajectory. Do you get what I'm saying? And I don't think it's coincidence that all of this is happening under his tenure, man. I really don't. I think he's an excellent businessman, and I don't think I think he's been, for the most part, he's been a good chairman for Spurs, but
Would you say then, sorry, it's just on that case, and again, this is just a question I'm posing to you. If you look at Poch's 6 years, right? If you took that chairman out and you put another chairman in, do you think Poch would have been more successful or less successful?
I think if we put in another chairman who was less risk averse than Levy, I think Poch would have been more successful. Yeah, but if we put in a chairman who absolutely didn't have any sort of business acumen or any care for the club whatsoever, like you saw with Arsenal, with even Gazidis, then we'd be in a worse off position. Do you get what I'm saying? We'd be in a worse off. We'd be in a worse off position than we are now. Like, so you can look at it both ways. I can look at the bad he's done. He's done a lot of bad things, but I can look at the good he's done as well. I just don't think he's this villain. He's this villain that people put him out to be. But I don't think he's a messiah either as well. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do. I do understand there's a balance to it, but that's why I think there's that balance to the picture of what he's done for the club. Do you know what I mean? He's stabilised it, which you say is a good thing. You know, the value of the club has rocketed since he's got it. You'd say it's been a steady climb up the table, I guess. Nothing's been overly sort of dramatic. We still don't win anything. So ultimately, for me, that's what football comes down to. Nothing's really changed on that side of things. So it is a balancing act. I guess it depends what people value, why they watch the game, what's important to them. Ultimately, it's opinion, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And I understand your side of things. I just think it's almost like I can't see him all of a sudden changing and all of a sudden pushing the boat up. I think he's grown it to where it is. And I don't think he has the capacity or the free reign from Joe Lewis and the others on the board to be able to do what you say he wants to do.
I hear that, but I do think he can, though. I do think he can. I think, and before, you can probably counteract this by saying we didn't spend anything for 18 months. That's true. He was playing catch up. But I think if you look at the willingness to spend since we moved into that stadium, there's a clear difference. So I just think that's why I feel like, as naive as it sounds to me, I'm giving you one last chance. Like,
hey, this sounds like Bergwijn to me. This is
people are calling me Tobi Zakora because of my hairline. Whatever, man. Anyway, that's on Daniel Levy. Let's actually talk about the game because I think maybe let's talk about the positives first. Let's talk about the positives because we did win. I'm happy. I'm very happy we won. More importantly, I'm happy with the level of performance I saw in the second half.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I think it's been a long time. It's been a long time where I've watched us and said, yeah, that's a really good half of football. Probably, I think since Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is the last time that's happened.
Yeah. And I think...
So, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I think, we had... Not even strong different opinions, but like a slight difference of opinion on Jose and potentially the impact he had and the toxicity around the club and how much he was a part of that compared to quality of squad and things like that. First half, it was almost, I was like, look, yes, I know Jose maybe had them shackled up a little bit, but I was the quality, I was like, it's done. The quality's still dreadful. You can see these players aren't good enough, which I still think is the truth to a degree, obviously. But I think first half you can put that down to confidence still, unsure of how to play now. And then you just saw that throughout, even like the last 3 to 5 minutes of the second half. It was a little bit better. The intensity was a little bit higher. Second half started a little slow again, but then from the sort of 55th to 60th minute, were really good. And I hadn't seen us, like you say. What was nice is, yes, there was that sort of attacking fluidity to a degree, but it was just nice to have the ball. Like, I haven't seen us have the ball for more than like 30 seconds, 20 seconds at a time.
Yes.
And that was nice. And you saw towards the end, you know, especially once we got the second goal. I know it was only the last couple of minutes, but all of a sudden people were moving, flicks were coming off, and it was just nice to see. And I think, you know, people are talking about Mason. We don't want him next season. All that. Look, I don't think anyone's expecting Ryan Mason to be the first team coach next season, but it was just nice to see the players, and I don't expect there to be like a clear identity or plan or style of play over the next 7 games, but even without that, and just, you know, what seemed to be a message of just go out and play, was nice. And it actually, for me, I know it was Southampton and they'd won, 2 of the last 8 or something like that. They looked good in the first half, and I thought second half, we even defended quite well. Do you know what I mean? I thought the defenders looked decent. I thought Dyer looked all right. I thought Tobi looked good. Reguilon looked like a new fullback in the second half. It was good. I think you don't want to draw too many negatives out of something like today. Do you know what I mean? I just think it was a nice performance, especially second half, and it was good to see what a lot of people would say was our Tottenham back. Do you know what I mean? A bit of attacking nous and flair and positivity, really.
Yeah, definitely. Well, unfortunately, we do have to speak about the negatives, but we'll just speak about the positives now. Like I like that there was more urgency in the second half, and the one thing you said is that you've not seen us be on the ball as much, etc., etc. But the one thing I really liked is that we wanted the ball. Like we wanted the ball. It wasn't just retreat, or look lost at sea. Like there were some poor performances, and we will get onto the poor performances. But I felt as a unit in the second half, it was much better in terms of how we were defending, in terms of how we were attacking, and then in our ability to play through Southampton as well. Like you said, I thought Reguilon, night and day between his performance in the first half and the second half. First half he looked poor. Second half looked completely different player, giving us that outlet on the left hand side. And I felt Gareth Bale stepped up the performance a notch a little bit in the second half as well, after like a tepid first half as well. And even Lo Celso, I don't think he played well. I think he was poor, but you look at the move for Son's disallowed goal. That was a really good team goal. Like I think it was Højbjerg, I can't remember who it was, that plays the ball into Lo Celso, takes the ball in a half turn and picks out a pass, like doesn't dilly-dally on the ball, picks out a pass, plays Reguilon, splits Southampton's defense. Reguilon, first time cut back to Son, and a great finish from Son. Has it not been for the Lucas Moura obstruction, that would have been a really good team goal. So I'm happy, man. Son on 20 goals in all competitions for this season. Gareth Bale, 6 goals, Premier League goals for this season. Yep. I made a bet with Son that he might. I made a bet that he would get. I said that he'd get like 15 goals and assists combined this season. So I could possibly still win my bet. But
what's he on? 6 and 4? Something like
that? I think so. You know, I think so. Yeah.
7. What's that? 6 games, 5 goal combination, 5 assists or goals to get. It's possible. It's doable. I believe in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna check now. So this season. One sec. So this season he's got 6 goals. Yeah, he's got 6 goals and 2 assists. I'm lagging on the assists. Yeah. But yeah, no, like it was. Listen, second half was good. Like I'm happy with that, man. I'm happy with that. Obviously, Southampton, they had some tired legs, and it showed. Yeah. And we took advantage of that. But what I did like as well is even after scoring the first goal, scoring the second goal, we didn't really let up. So like I'm happy about that. Like we looked like we still wanted more. So that was good. Like you said, you don't want to draw too many conclusions from this, because it's one, Southampton are down in the dumps, and 2, we'll have bigger games to come on with a home side and stuff, and we should be beating Southampton. But it was good to see that performance in the second half, and it was good to see us win. But we have to talk about the negatives. Like I'm not one of these Spurs fans who just does all the airy fairy stuff. I talk about the and the bad, and we have to talk about the first half, and we have to talk about some players who are lagging, man. Ndombele. Yeah. Like,
glad you said that.
You know that that's my guy. Like, the performances, and I think the amount of times I've had to speak about the terrible performances I've seen from this guy in the past 2 months. Like I think only Newcastle is a game where where like I've said, okay, yeah, you've actually played well. Newcastle and maybe like 1 or 2 other matches in like over 2 months.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
and even those games, Tobs, and you may disagree or agree, it's spells in games. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I've said to you before about him controlling the tempo of the midfield. He can do nice things, and he can do like 5, 10, 15, sometimes 20-minute spells where you go, oh, the impact is mad. And then all of a sudden it's almost like he's done his bit. Do you know what I mean? But I agree with you. I think especially over the last 6 to 8 weeks, it's really fallen off. And I mean, go on. I feel like you're continuing to say something, so I'll let you.
Go on.
No, and this is where, like, first half. If you just isolated the first half, I was livid with it. Him and Lo Celso, and I know we'll come on to Lo Celso as well. But when I saw some changes in performance second half, you can't put it all down to this, but maybe it is a confidence thing, a lack of understanding, being held back to a degree. I don't know. But first half, isolated, it was atrocious. I was chatting on my group chats. It looked like, these guys couldn't even make a 5-yard pass.
Okay.
Touches were just bouncing off, slow to the ball. Second balls, no, Southampton were first every time. And I think, especially with Ndombele, that's probably the worst I've seen him play. And that's saying something from even when he first came in. And
I don't think it is. He was terrible against Everton.
Really? You think it was worse?
He was terrible against Everton. Awful against Everton. Absolutely awful.
Yeah.
But he's one of our better players, and for the most part this season, I think he's been a good, consistent performer for Spurs. But I just don't understand why the form has just dipped dramatically over the last 2 months. And the same can be said for Højbjerg as well. Like, I felt his performance improved in the second half, but even first half, our midfield just couldn't get to grips at all. That was Ndombele, that was Højbjerg, Lo Celso. He's been terrible since he's come back from injury. But this is what I mean about Ndombele and Lo Celso. Like, Ndombele more than Lo Celso, but they possess quality. Like, these guys aren't bad players, and the minute they play to their actual level, like, you look at the first goal, who played the pass, the probing pass into who played the probing pass into Lucas Moura's son to get off a shot that gets rebounded, and Bell finishes exquisitely. Great finish as well. Ndombele. In the lead up to the disallowed goal, who plays the line breaking pass to Lo Celso to Reguilon? It's Lo Celso. These guys aren't bad players. Ndombele is a very good player with ridiculous quality. Lo Celso is someone who's capable of giving us good performances, but we need to see this consistently. Like, they cost so much money.
Yeah,
that's like 100 million plus. Like, you need to see consistency in their game.
What do you put it down to, Tobs, as a man that's outside the club? What like, is it confidence? Is it attitude? Is it with both of them? Like, why?
I think with Lo Celso, I don't know what it is with Lo Celso. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's not as good as I think he is. But with Ndombele, he is. Like, he is. I've seen this guy do things on the football pitch that are ridiculous. Like, and I think an attitude shift. I'm not saying he has a bad attitude, but I feel like he doesn't have like an elite attitude. Yeah. And I mean that in terms of his willingness to dominate a game or to win possession and stuff like that. Like, he's meant to be Dembele's heir. And I think he's him and Dembele, it's not even close when it comes to who is the better technician. Like, it's not even close. He is a miles better technician than Dembele. And Dembele was good technically. Yeah. But what Dembele could do in a game was dominate for 90 minutes, whether that's beating players, retaining the ball, winning the ball back, just a presence in the middle of the park. And Dembele is a guy who I do think Spurs fans overrate, but he was a presence. And Ndombele at times, we've spoken about this, he has the quality to dominate a game for 90 minutes, but he doesn't do so. And we need to see him do more of it. We need to see more of it. It's sad to say, but we need a better return on our investment. We need a better return on our investment. He's a £60 million player. He's one of the best players in our squad. We need to see more. other players can drop their level, but you cannot drop your level. You just can't.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with it as well is like you said, with why that consistency isn't there, and you don't see that elite mentality. And I think that for me is the issue. I think you look at the quality he's got, but when someone doesn't have that mentality, like sometimes I look at him, and you don't know this, I may be completely speculating and way off with what I'm saying, but whether we win, draw, or lose, I don't really see like it bothers him. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like I've said before with Ndombele, I always feel like he's playing within his own game. It's almost like if he's done something nice, or he'll come off and go, well, I did okay. Do you know what I mean? I don't really see that like they're all pulling in the same direction. I think he just isolates his own performances or what he does on the pitch. And if you don't have that mentality, I find that like how do you give that to someone? How do you make them have that, to want to have that consistency, to want to have an impact for 90 minutes week in, week out? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm sure it can be done. I'm sure there's other cases where it's been done. Maybe it's the right manager that can do it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's all of a sudden that we win 10, 15 games and that momentum brings him in with it. But I don't know, man. It's a tough one. And I think where you said there, we can see the quality he's got, but it's not happening. That conversation's tiring me now. Do you know what I mean? It's 2 seasons and we've been saying the same thing.
But he's getting better though.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that whatsoever. I think from when he first came in and he barely got a game, there's been improvement. But then that's still not enough, considering, like you say, what we thought we were bringing in. That's irrelevant. If what we paid for and then instantly we got this under Ndombele, we'd still not be happy because it's not enough. Where people are only okay with it because it's still better than what we were getting. Do you know what I mean? So if we never saw,
people are okay with it, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think people are okay with it. I think the fan base
not okay with it. But do you know what I mean? Like it's like we'll give him more time, and I agree with that. I do think I don't want to sell him or anything like that. I do think he needs more time, but we'll give him more time. But I don't see like what that catalyst is going to be that is going to change it. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it he needs better players around him for him to be consistent, where he's almost like what I thought Ali was 3 years ago, where you can carry a player like that because the rest of the 11 is so strong? Or is it a manager that just has to really put his arm around him, tell him how good he is and whatever? I don't know. I don't know what that catalyst is, but I hope whatever it is happens, because you can see the undoubted quality that he has. But I don't know. It's frustrating me. There are other players that frustrate me more, don't get me wrong. But it's irritating to see, like you say, when you see even training videos and what he's done in games at certain points. Like, why can't you can do that for 90 minutes. You can have more of an impact. It's almost like a choice for me. I feel like like you said, you don't have the mentality or the drive or the desire to want to be the best player in the league or be the best midfielder in the league. Do you know what I mean? I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But
no, I'll give us 5 more minutes to now wrap up. But like Lucas Moura today, we've spoken about like on form, he's been one of our least bad players, because we can't just the way we've been playing the last couple months. It's not even you've been one of our best, but it's literally you've been one of the least poor players. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's put in some decent performances, even some good performances here and there, but it seems like he's reverting back to type. I don't understand what he's been doing the last couple of games. He came on against Everton, and the energy was there, but just giving away the ball and just running into cul-de-sacs against Newcastle, whether you played on the left or the right through the middle, running into cul-de-sacs. I would have felt that this game could have benefited from Ryan playing Vinicius as the front man. I know his link-up play isn't good, but I think just having him as a presence there would have been better for the likes of Son and Bale to sort of work off. Son was another one today. I thought he was so poor in the first half. So poor in the first half. But second half, performance improved. And the Celso. I know he's only come back from injury the last month, but the performances have to improve.
Yeah.
They have to improve. Second half was better, yes, but still not good enough. It has to improve. It's the same thing. Well, of course, I don't really hold Lo Celso to the same standard I hold Ndombele, because I think Ndombele is a better player. But we need to see more. We need to see a better return on our investments.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to be that guy and talk from a business point of view, but we spent a lot of money on you, bro. And we need to see more.
Yeah.
We need to see more.
My issue with him is, even when, like today, I think that there is confidence and fitness issues with him. You know, touch is poor, slow, slows down the pace of the game. But even before, when he's been in like what you would class a decent run, where he was playing decent minutes for a small period of time and seemed to get into a little bit of rhythm, he's a tidy footballer. And for me, that's where it stops. Whereas you said earlier, maybe he's just not as good as you think he is. I can be quite harsh sometimes, and I don't think he's that good. I think he's tidy. I think he's a neat footballer. Looks good when he's playing well. But ultimately, another one that doesn't.
He's a master of none type player, isn't he? Like, he doesn't really. I think he's a good ball carrier, but he doesn't really excel at like. He's not bad. Like, it's weird. He's like a decent footballer in a couple areas and a good footballer in a couple areas, but he's not a specialist. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, that's what I mean. He doesn't really bring anything to the side. That's what I mean. If you had if he was part of a midfield that already had energy, that had a creative player like Christian Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes, something like that, then it would kind of go unnoticed because he's tidy, does things well sometimes. Not obviously at the moment, but he can do. But when you're, we brought him in as a creative player, someone that could have goal contributions. And I since he's come in, like I say, even when he's played okay or played well, I don't see that in him. He's, like you say, he's just a neat and tidy footballer that can bring the ball from the defensive half into the attacking half, but then, assists wise, cutting through the lines, splitting passes. I've not really seen it. I hope, again, I'm wrong. I hope there's a catalyst which makes that change. But like you say, difference with Ndombele. I think Ndombele, you can see what he should be, what he's capable of with Lo Celso. And I think it spoke volumes today with, even in the first half. And Lo Celso did improve a bit in the second half, but I would have been happy if they brought Winks on for him. Do you know what I mean? That was how bad it was. It was this is.
Yeah, I think Winks could have come on for either of the pair. And Winks could have come on, and he eventually came on for Ndombele, but he could have come on for Lo Celso, and no one would have complained. So no. I think that a lot of that midfield three get a lot of stick because the balance just doesn't fit when they play, and I think it can work. I think it can succeed, but I do also believe that this summer Spurs should be looking for a better midfielder to play alongside Ndombele and Højbjerg, and I think that hopefully can then raise Lo Celso's game and get him more competitive, where his place is fundamentally at stake. Because right now, let's be real, Dele's not really pushing him, Winksy not really pushing him. It's the same for Ndombele as well. We need that additional piece who can score goals, who can pick a pass, and doesn't disrupt our midfield feng shui. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it for us today. I want to sign out. I want to let you go off and watch the Man City game. But thank you all for tuning in. Jordan, it's been sweet. I think on Sunday I'm gonna have to do something different. I'm not sure if you're free, but on Sunday I'm gonna have to do it probably sort of later on in the day.
I'm free
around 8:30 or 9 o'clock because I'm doing a live watch along with Robbie and Big Steve for the cup final. I'm not looking forward to it because I don't think we're gonna win. But
no.
But anyway,
I'll be there afterwards. No worries. Yeah.
Well, anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you drop some comments in the video as well. But until then, take care, peace out, and I'll see you on Friday or Saturday for the preview. Take care.